I now know exactly what to do when you move.
Okay, what do you do when you move?
You get rid of everything.
Yeah.
Everything. No matter what. You went a long way.
Yes.
I can't believe that you do these things. I mean, Dad would be astonished, absolutely astonished. He'd be petrified. He'd be constantly, well, I'm not sure he'd be emailing you, but he'd be telling me to email you or what have you. Don't be careful of this, don't do that, be careful of the other. Safety was his thing.
Travelling through Croatia and Bosnia means coming face to face with our potential for destruction. Whether it's the warning that stepping off the path can be fatal, or an abandoned war machine left to rust as a haunting symbol of devastation, there is no escaping the sense that you are in a place that has suffered and still bears the scars. I am reminded of the fragility of life, knowing that death here once came suddenly, without warning. But this fragility doesn't have to be feared. It is a reminder that what we have is fleeting, and therefore precious. Like the sun dipping below the horizon, shimmering for just a moment before fading away, our time here is brief. Too often we get caught up in what has happened or what might happen and forget that we are here right now. I think that is why I am so drawn to being on a motorbike. It's the closest I get to being fully in the present. When I watch these videos back, I'm amazed at how far I ride and how quickly the miles pass by. Time seems to vanish when I am so completely immersed in each moment. A year ago, I set off to Monaco on my first off-road adventure, and it was then that I fell in love with the idea of embracing the unknown. A few months later, I traveled to Spain in winter, learning that if you push through the difficulties, you can find something truly special. And now, on the 7th day of this journey, I found myself deep in Bosnia, where the trail led me into a forest that seemed to rise endlessly, the air growing cooler as I climbed. Eventually, I emerged from the trees and made my way to a small village to rest and prepare for whatever lay ahead in Bosnia's unknown. What on earth? Why is there smoke? Onwards towards where the explosion came from. I'm trying to work out if this is the remotest place I've been. I was fast approaching a personal milestone, the furthest I'd ever travelled from home on a motorbike. Dad would be horrified with the way that I'm treating these lenses. He'd never come to a place like this. At least not the man that I knew. When I knew him, bear in mind he had me when he was 50. The man that I knew was cautious. He worried a lot. Worried about what could happen. My natural tendency was to, as you can see, go and explore and see what happens. And I imagine that stressed him out. It's quite something to be out here. You leave the hotel or the campsite and you get on the road, and for a while you're just, okay, this is fine, and then things get more remote and you get more distant and you see less traffic, and then suddenly you're in it. You're in it and you're alone, and you're thinking, I should be careful here, because if I was to fall, no one's coming. But who knows what lies ahead? There are some that argue against the idea of a trans-Euro trail, claiming that when everyone follows the same path, the path becomes overcrowded. But my experience has been quite the opposite. The trail, for me, has been a place of solitude, where all it takes is switching off the engine to be reminded that you are alone in a foreign land. If you linger long enough, you begin to feel as though you're not just passing through, but becoming a part of the very world into which you've stepped.
Are they too hot?
Ukraine.
UK. No, UK. London, England.
English.
English. Yeah. Huh? Yeah. All the way. Yeah.
Društvo. Kamo još?
Yeah.
Kamo još?
Yeah. All the way. No, one.
Sam.
One. Yeah.
I wonder what a man like that makes of a traveller like me. Would he remember me when he returned to his family later that day? Would he tell his wife that a biker from England passed today? Or would I be forgotten? Does he ever dream of taking the journey himself? Or is he content to simply pass each day, tending to his flock and working the land? And what a land! In London, I only have a pocket of space squeezed between other pockets of space, filled with the things I think I need, things that will one day sit on a shelf and gather dust. But here, in Bosnia, I moved through a different kind of space, and everything I carried had a purpose. Would he have done what I'm doing, these kinds of things, these kinds of trips?
He might have done anyway, if he'd been given the opportunities and times had been different, because the times were different.
Yeah.
We didn't travel in the same way as people travel now. It was an adventure just to cross the English Channel. Travel wasn't as easy in those days, and at one time you couldn't take more than £25 out of the country anyway.
You couldn't have a bank card with you.
You bought traveller's checks in those days. You didn't have credit cards and things. But a lot of those Eastern European countries were communist.
Yeah.
So you didn't travel in communist countries because it was more difficult, because you could be taken away by the secret police and things.
Everything was catching up to me. The night before, I lay in my tent with my head pounding, a combination of long hours on the trail and the rising heat. It was fine up in the mountains, but I had come down to a lake where it was warmer. In the morning, I felt better and was able to take in my surroundings. I'd only ever heard the name Bosnia through talk of war. I'd never known that the country was this beautiful. I looked at the trail that lay ahead and saw it took me towards Mostar, where there was talk of 40-degree heat. I decided to skip this city and take a shortcut on roads and perhaps find out what this stretch of water might look like up close. I welcomed the opportunity to be on tarmac, where I could move faster and let the wind cool me down. Away from the difficult trails, I could allow my thoughts to wander. And I got to thinking, what a time that we live in, where I'm able to do what I'm doing. And why am I able to do this? Some time ago, people carved a path through this untamed mountain. Later, others followed it, crossing the landscape until it became a road. Many years later, the internal combustion engine was invented. Then later still, a Japanese company was formed, and several iterations down the line, the Honda CRF 300 Rally was designed, built, and sent across the ocean. In London, I bought one. It is on the achievements of others that I am able to weave this path down this mountain. It is because of others that I am able to capture this footage and share it with you. It is quite something to be doing what I'm doing. But I didn't feel it. I just felt hot and tired and lonely. I needed a rest. I had come too far, too quickly, and I'd stopped seeing. Each road blurred into the next, each view a mirror of the one before it. Sometimes you just need to get off the bike. By midday, as the temperature reached 37 degrees, I pulled into a campsite by that body of water and rested.